You people.
Just say yes.
Changing the agenda.
Call to order the City of Brentwood Board of Aldermen meeting for January 2nd, 2018. If you'd all rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Alderman Dimmitt.
We have
Alderman Kramer.
the Humane Society tonight.
Alderman Kramer.
Present.
That's you, buddy. Alderman Leahy.
Here.
Alderman Lockmiller.
Here.
Alderwoman O'Neill. Alderman Plufka.
Yes.
Alderwoman Sims. Here. Alderman Weggie.
Here.
Mayor Thornton.
I'm here. So it looks like we have a quorum. I apologize to everyone. I was led to believe that we would not have a quorum tonight, so I didn't even dress the part. Anyway, but we will have a meeting, whether the mayor's attire notwithstanding. Okay, so item number 3 on the agenda is the approval of the agenda. Are there any amendments to the agenda? Alderman Plufka.
I would move that we table item 11A for the fact that it's not ready for us to discuss on a first reading basis.
All right, there's a motion to postpone.
Second.
Moved and seconded that we postpone item 11A to the January 16th meeting. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, the agenda, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Are there any opposed? The agenda will be amended. Any further amendments to tonight's agenda? Seeing none, any objection to approval by acclamation? Fantastic, we have an agenda. Item number 4 is the consideration and approval of minutes from past meetings. First of all is the December 4th meeting. Are there any changes or amendments to those minutes? Any objection to approval by acclamation? They'll be so approved. And the December 18th meeting. Any objection to approval by acclamation? They'll be so approved. All right, it's number 5 tonight. We have the recognition of several of our police officers, and I think Interim Chief McIntyre. There he is. He's here. So, take it away.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, Board of Aldermen. On Monday, December the 4th, about 8 p.m., actually it's about 8:20 p.m., the Richmond Heights Police Department contacted all area agencies to respond to the jewelry store located in Richmond Heights for an armed robbery. What had occurred was 4 subjects had entered the jewelry store armed with hammers and proceeded to smash out the glass from the displays. 3 of our officers responded, Corporal Nick Stanzi, Officer Josh Bowersox, and Officer Scott Worth. And I'd just like to read just a little bit of the excerpt of what had occurred, and then afterwards a thank you letter, if I could indulge that. So first of all, I would like to call your attention to the incident that occurred on Monday, December 4th, and this is in reference to Officer Josh Bowersox, and this is what his part, one of the small parts that he played in this. On Monday, December 4th, 2017, at approximately 8:22 p.m., an armed robbery occurred at a jewelry store located at number 21 The Boulevard in the city of Richmond Heights, where 4 subjects entered the store with hammers and proceeded to smash glass jewelry cases and steal thousands of dollars worth of jewelry. All 4 subjects then fled the scene on foot. East Central Dispatch requested any available units to respond. In a driving rainstorm, you responded with Corporal Nick Stanzi and Officer Scott Worth. After searching the area, you responded to the area near the Brentwood Metrolink platform to continue the search for possible suspects. You encountered a soaking wet suspect, later identified as Xavier Cromartie, acting suspicious near 8420 Eager Road. Because of your initiative, your quick thinking, you discovered that Cromartie had just placed a phone call to an unknown person in Detroit, Michigan, in an attempt to arrange for transportation. Based on your investigation of the facts and circumstances, you took Cromartie into custody. He was later positively identified by the victims. You then relayed the information regarding the Michigan phone number to the Richmond Heights Police Department. All 4 suspects were later charged in federal court and are being investigated for similar crimes in the state of Michigan. Through your efforts and those of your fellow officers, you were able to locate, identify, and arrest several dangerous criminals within minutes of the crime. It is exactly this type of initiative and courageous action that personifies your character, and I am proud to present you with this letter of commendation dated January 2nd, 2018. Also, I might add, by virtue of receiving a Chief's letter of commendation, Officer Bowersox is now authorized to wear the green bar that's associated with a Chief's letter of commendation. Next, I'd like to call your attention to Corporal Nick Stanzi. Again, on Monday, December 4th at approximately 8:22 p.m., an armed robbery occurred at the jewelry store at number 21, the Boulevard, in the city of Richmond Heights. East Central Dispatch requested any available units to respond. And again, in a driving rainstorm, you responded along with Officer Josh Bowersox and Officer Scott Worth. You then began searching the area and saw a suspect matching the description fleeing the area. You began a foot pursuit across northbound lanes of Interstate I-170 and were able to take a suspect later identified as Tyran Gray into custody without incident. Gray was positively identified by the witnesses on the scene. Through your efforts and those of your fellow officers, you were able to locate, identify, and arrest several dangerous criminals within minutes of the crime. It is exactly this type of initiative and courageous action that personifies your character, and I am proud to present you with this letter of commendation dated January 2nd, 2018. Also, by virtue of the Chief's letter of commendation, Corporal Stanzi is now authorized to wear the green bar. Officer Worth could not be with us tonight. His father is in town, and he was unable just due to his job. But I wanted to at least read you. Officer Worth, again, responded along with Officer Bowersox and Corporal Stanzi. He then began searching the area and assisted Richmond Heights officers with the arrest and search of stolen property from the suspects Darrell Lee and Robert Scott. He then secured one suspect in the patrol vehicle until their conveyance unit could arrive. And again, through his efforts and those of the fellow officers, they were able to locate, identify, and arrest several dangerous criminals. There were 4. They arrested all 4. The Brentwood Police Department arrested 4. It should be noted that Officer Bowersox will be honored by the Richmond Heights City Council on January 16th at 7:30 p.m. And if I might indulge you, Mr. Mayor and board members, I just want to read a letter that we received, or that I received from Signet Jewelers. That's the owners of the store located at number 21, the Boulevard. And it's dated 20 December 2017. It says, Chief McIntyre, I want to personally thank you and your officers, excuse me, for their work in the armed robbery incident that occurred at our Galleria of Jewelry store located at the Boulevard in Richmond Heights on December 4th, 2017. As I understand relative to your department, Officer Josh Bowersox, Scott Worth, and Corporal Nick Stanzi all played an active role in the apprehensions and processing of the incident. On behalf of myself and as a representative of Signet Jewelers, thank you for the aversion of any physical injuries to our employees and for the swift apprehension of the suspects. Your department's actions averted injury, loss of life, and recovering of merchandise totaling $167,754. An excellent credit to your men and department. Please convey Signet Jewelers' thanks, as well as my personal thanks to all the officers involved and their efforts and the job that they perform every day on behalf of the citizenry. That is signed Mark M. Neapolitan, Senior Director of Loss Prevention International for Signet Jewelers. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. So I guess the moral is don't use Uber for your getaway car. Great work, guys. That's fantastic. I'm really proud that we could be such a help to Richmond Heights, and that's just great. Item number 6, we have no proclamations this evening. Number 7, no public hearings and no bids that I'm aware of. Item number 9, hearing of any matter of public interest upon the request of any person present. Anyone who'd care to come forward and address the board on any subject, you'll have 3 minutes. Going once, going twice. No public comment. We have no unfinished business that I'm aware of. Okay. Number 11 on the agenda, 11B, which was formerly B, is now A. Bills to be given a first reading. Mr. City Attorney, could we have the first reading of Bill number 6175 by title only, please?
Bill number 6175, first reading. An ordinance approving a final subdivision plat of the parcel located at 2629 High School Drive into 2 single-family residential lots and establishing the effective date of this ordinance.
All right. Alderman Kramer, do you have a synopsis or?
I do.
All right.
Bill number 6175, preliminary and the final subdivision plat approval for 2629 High School Drive, that into 2 single-family residential lots at the same address. Application's been made by Oren Construction Company to subdivide 22,292 square foot lot, basically just over half an acre, located at 2629 High School Drive into 2 lots. Proposed lot A is 11,213 square feet. Proposed lot B, 11,079 square feet. The property is located west of High School Drive, north of Manchester, and south of Madge. Subject property is zoned B single-family residential. The B single-family residential districts carry a minimum lot size requirement of 5,000 square feet, a minimum lot width of 40 feet, and a minimum lot depth of 75 feet. The 2 proposed lot sizes and dimensions exceed the minimum lot size, width, and depth requirements. The preliminary and final plat was submitted to the Planning and Zoning Commission, and the Commission recommended approval of the preliminary and final plat unanimously by a vote of 8 in favor, 8 opposed. This is Bill number 6175.
All right. Thank you. I think Lisa has some information for us on this one. I'm sorry, Jake. It was just we usually hear from staff first.
Sorry about that. We didn't go over those are formal arrangements, and this is the petitioner that's standing behind me. The synopsis, I think, was a staff report, so it's pretty basic unless you have any questions that I can answer.
Alderman Plufka.
Does our notice procedure involve giving notice at this stage to people impacted within 300 feet of this property?
So we go ahead and notice in this case for subdivision plats at the Planning and Zoning Commission stage.
Okay.
So we have already sent out notices within 300 feet of the High School Drive property.
And will either the first reading tonight, does either the first reading tonight or the second reading that would come up at the next meeting, do either one of those generate a separate notice?
No, we do that in the cases if it's going to be a public hearing before the Board of Aldermen. Then
Okay.
we send out the second notice.
So just out of curiosity, I know it was passed by Planning and Zoning.
Right.
Were there any residents that showed up
No,
during the public comment?
no, there was not.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Any other questions? Okay, thank you. Item number 12 on the agenda. Bills to be given a second reading. We're going to have bill number 6169. Mr. City Attorney, second reading by title only, please.
Bill number 6169, second reading and consideration for adoption. An ordinance granting a permit for a temporary parking lot at 8212 Manchester Road.
All right. Alderman Kramer, synopsis.
Yes, Your Honor, the same Bill 6169, the application for the site plan approval for property 8212 Manchester Road, that to construct a temporary parking lot. And the bill covers an ordinance for that granting a permit for a temporary parking lot at 8212 Manchester Road. The parcel is a half an acre in size, presently zoned LID, Light Industrial District. Petitioner proposes to construct a private parking lot and lease the lot, which is permitted under the use of the Light Industrial District provisions. At this time, however, the petitioner desires to construct a temporary parking lot and is requesting that the Board of Aldermen approve a special use permit for the property to be used for a temporary parking lot in accordance with Section 605.1600 of the Brentwood Municipal Code. The Planning and Zoning Commission in this case has recommended approval of the site plan for the temporary parking lot with several conditions as noted by a vote of 10 in favor, 0 opposed, in the language of Bill number 6169.
All right, thank you. Chair would entertain a motion.
Your Honor, I'll make a motion to perfect Bill 6169 into ordinance form.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that the board perfect bill number 6169 into ordinance form. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Alderman Kramer?
Yes.
Alderman Leahy?
Yes.
Alderman Lockmiller?
Yes.
Alderman Plufka?
Yes.
Alderwoman Sims?
Yes.
Alderman Waggy?
Yes.
Bill number 6169 passes, and upon signature of the mayor, becomes ordinance 4818.
All right, thank you. Item number 13 on tonight's agenda, bills to be given a first and second reading. Mr. City Attorney, can we have the first reading of bill number 6174 by title only, please?
Bill number 6174, first reading, an ordinance authorizing the purchase of real property located at 8606 Manchester Road.
Thank you. Alderman Kramer, synopsis?
Sure, Your Honor. Bill number 6174 covers an ordinance for the property acquisition at that address, 8606 Manchester Road here in Brentwood. An ordinance authorizing the purchase of that property. It's reasonable and necessary to acquire the .18 acre parcel for the purpose of enhancing protection against flooding, revitalizing a critical commercial corridor of the city of Brentwood, and in order to protect the health, safety, and welfare of the people of the city of Brentwood. The city has concluded all of its due diligence and review of the following: the title commitment, the ALTA commitment, the NSPS land title survey, phase 1 and 2, phase of the environmental site assessment reports, the appraisal report, and geophysical survey report of the property. None of the reports have revealed any readings that should impact the use of the property. Closing date is projected January 5th, 2018, and the city is ready to fund the closing on that date. This is bill number 6174.
All right. I think Bola is ready to answer any questions, if anybody has any. Okay, seeing none, we'll move to second reading. Mr. City Attorney, can we have a second reading of 6174 by title only, please?
Bill number 6174, second reading and consideration for adoption. An ordinance authorizing the purchase of real property located at 8606 Manchester Road.
Your Honor, I'll make a motion to perfect Bill 6174 into ordinance form.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that the board perfect bill number 6174 in an ordinance form. Is there any discussion on the bill? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Alderman Kramer?
Yes.
Alderman Leahy?
Yes.
Alderman Lockmiller?
Yes.
Alderman Plufka?
Yes.
Alderwoman Sims?
Yes.
Alderman Waggy?
Yes.
Bill number 6174 passes. Upon signature of the mayor, becomes ordinance 4819.
All right, thank you. Item number 14 on tonight's agenda, resolutions. We have resolution number 1085, best police practices and standards for law enforcement governance. Alderman Kramer, do you have a synopsis of the resolution?
I do, Your Honor. I apologize for any background noise here.
No, that's okay.
We're still celebrating the new year, too.
Well, we are too, but you know.
Resolution 1085, the best police practices and standards for law enforcement governance in the St. Louis region. This is a resolution that adopts and authorizes the implementation of best practices as set forth in the St. Louis Area Police Chiefs Association Best Practices Agreement, the SLAPCA. The genesis of the Best Practices Agreement centers on the Senate Bill 5, which is mandated many of the requirements found in the agreement. Related expenses may be the result of an ongoing CALEA accreditation process. Member agencies must agree to be certified on CALEA or any other recognized or accredited services or organization that utilizes the external audit conducted by assessors not directly affiliated with the police agency. And that's prior to the date January 1st, 2022. There may yet be unforeseen costs associated. On Thursday, December 21st, 2017, the Public Safety Committee voted unanimously to adopt the SLAPCA Best Practices Agreement and forwarded that to the Board of Aldermen. It's the language contained in Resolution number 1085.
All right, thank you. The chair would entertain a motion to adopt 1085.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded that the board adopt resolution number 1085. Is there any discussion? No discussion? All right, very good. Let's have a roll call for 1085.
Alderman Kramer?
Yes.
Alderman Leahy?
Yes.
Alderman Lockmiller?
Yes.
Alderman Plufka?
Yes.
Alderwoman Sims?
Yes.
Alderman Weggie.
Yes.
That, by my count, is a 6-0 vote. So 6 in favor, no one against. The resolution is adopted. Item number 15 on the agenda is the warrant list. Alderwoman Sims.
I get to stand in for Alderman Dimmitt this evening. As I'm not as seasoned as he is there, I noticed that there were, appear to be 4 line items that have a negative balance. Is there a reason? Yeah, I know the total.
They are expenses that will be funded once we do the budget amendment for last year's budget, coming out of the Stormwater and Parks Fund. And the reason why we slipped in a revised warrant list is because I forgot to add the $135,000 that was just approved for the 8606 Manchester Road.
Yeah, they're going to want to check at closing. They're really weird that way.
I knew there were reasons. So I've had the opportunity to review the warrant list, and I would recommend approving it and paying the amount of $333,202.02.
Second, Your Honor.
It's been moved and seconded that the board approve the warrant list as submitted in the amount of, what was it, 333,202.02. Is there any discussion? Roll call, please.
Alderman Kramer?
Yes.
Alderman Leahy?
Yes.
Alderman Lockmiller?
Yes.
Alderman Plufka?
Yes.
Alderwoman Sims?
Yes.
Alderman Weggie?
Yes.
All right, thank you very much. Bills are paid. Reports of committees and department heads. First is up is mine. I don't have anything to report. Like I said, the only report I have is I didn't really think we were going to have enough people to have a meeting tonight. So I do want to ask, well, first of all, I want to wish everyone a Happy New Year. 2018 looks very great, and I'm very excited about it. The second thing is I want to ask everyone's patience with our municipal trash service. We've had extremely cold weather, and the extremely cold weather has very negative effect on diesel trucks, and diesel trucks are what pick up our trash. So for the last actually the last couple weeks, but especially the last 2 days, we've had numerous issues with the very cold weather and the diesel trucks. So I understand that it's frustrating. My recycling is sitting right out in front of my house, just like everyone else. Please be patient. We will get the trucks in service as soon as possible, and we will get the trash and recycling picked up, and we will get back on track. So if everybody could just please be patient with us, that's the cause of the problem, and we're very aware of it. Thank you. That's all I have. Public Safety Committee.
Public Safety meets January 18th, 2018 in this room at 5:30 p.m.
All right, thank you. Public Works.
Our first meeting of the new year will be Wednesday, January 10th, right here at 4:30.
Ways and Means. Anybody speaking for Alderman Dimmitt?
No report.
No report.
Are you authorized to say no report?
We did it together.
Wow. He sent 2 people to cover for him. Great. Mr. City Attorney.
No reports.
And Madam City Administrator.
No report, sir.
And Madam Excise Commissioner.
No report.
Madam Library Liaison is not here tonight. Did she delegate to anyone?
Nope.
No report. And I have nothing from the Municipal League. Oh, I do have something from the Municipal League. There is a legislative review coming up, and I apologize, I don't actually know when it is.
It's a legislative reception scheduled for January 11th
Thank
from
you.
5:30 to 7
Yeah.
at the Sheraton West Point.
Yeah, I just know that I can't be there, but I know that Alderwoman O'Neill is going. So if anybody on this board feels that they would like to attend that, I've heard it's a very good reception. So I would recommend you contact her and then contact Lori to get RSVP. I don't think there's any cost involved.
It's
$35.
Yeah, so, but the city will foot the bill if you're wanting to go and represent the city. So, very good. Any announcements? Alderman Leahy.
Thank you, Your Honor. If I may, the first meeting of the Ward 3 gathering will be Tuesday night, the 30th of January, here in the main council room at 7 o'clock. All are invited. If I may indulge the board, Your Honor, I have a personal announcement I'd like to make. Thank you. There is a joint American Red Cross and National Be the Match blood drive Friday, January the 26th, here at the Brentwood Rec Center from 2 o'clock to 8 p.m. And we're looking for blood donors and people to register for the National Be the Match for bone marrow arrangement. If you have time, it would be a nice way to start the new year by taking the time to reach out. There is more information on Nextdoor's website under Will You Please Help. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Steve.
I was just putting the blood drive on my calendar so I don't forget it.
Thank you.
Alderman Lockmiller.
If you've seen this flyer, the Brentwood Century Foundation is having one of its first events of the year, January 25th. It's a Thursday down at the Drury Inn from 5 to 8. What they're doing is they're honoring a few of the Brentwood City residents with an art background. So there will be an art exhibit, and tickets are $15 in advance that you can get at the website, or $20 at the door. And I challenge all the board and the mayor to maybe show up for that. The only thing on the calendar, I believe, is Board of Adjustment. I know we're all chomping at the bit to go to that all the time. So I think we can make this.
It'll be a tough call, yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other announcements? All right. Alderman Kramer, anything from down south?
Feliz Año Nuevo.
All right, new business. We do have one item of new business this evening. We have a request for an ambulance billing settlement, and I'm led to believe that Chief Curtin has information for us.
Good evening, thank you. Hopefully this will be a pretty quick and simple process on this one. We had transported a patient in December of 2016 and was contacted by that individual's attorney requesting to settle their bill for a loss to the city of $7.35. All the documentation I provided with the memo indicated this was part of a Missouri lien settlement, and Ways and Means was unavailable to meet, so it was suggested I bring it to you guys for approval tonight. Any questions?
Any questions for Chief Curtin? Bola, do we have the 735 in the budget?
I'm not sure.
All right.
Couldn't get him down to 5.
Okay.
All right. So I guess I would entertain a motion to approve the settlement as proposed by Chief Curtin.
So
moved, Your Honor. Second.
It's been moved twice and seconded at least twice that we approve the settlement as proposed. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
And are there any opposed? That's a unanimous approval of that. Chief Curtin, thank you very much. Item number 19 on the agenda is hearing of any matter of public interest upon the request of any person present. If you care to come forward and address your Board of Aldermen, do so and you'll be given 3 minutes. And if you don't come forward in the next, 30 seconds, you won't get a chance at all. Going once, going twice. I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved, Your Honor.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that the Board of Aldermen adjourn. Is there any discussion? Oh, sorry. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Are there any opposed?
Aye.
We are adjourned.